G'day, ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Gaijin listened. They did it. They actually made the Battle Pass into something that isn't complete cancer. Now, for a lot of you, a Battle Pass coming to War Thunder is not a positive thing. However, in my opinion, as long as it doesn't affect the core gameplay, then it is only a positive thing. You get the opportunity for free stuff, and if you pay a little bit, you also get the opportunity for some cool, unique things. So, without further ado, let's actually have a look at the Battle Pass in-game and see exactly how it sort of pans out. So the Battle Pass in the right-hand side of the screen is basically where you're going to find it. It's basically where the Warbond shop is, underneath events and tournaments. Very, very straightforward, very simple, and it sort of goes alongside the Warbond shop. You'll see as we go along that you'll get Warbonds as your reward, particularly if you're in the paid tier. If you're in the free tier, not so much, and I suppose that's why you can still earn Warbonds through daily tasks, even though I can't really see the daily tasks being displayed. Regardless, you have a couple of little tiers here. You've got the free ones. That's the stuff that you'll be getting yourself. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And the ones that you pay for, you'll get stuff like boosters. I've noticed that they're evenly spread out, so you do get Silver Lions in some. You get like a title or something like that, or a challenge rather, in others. And for some of them you get camos, some of them you get decals. I think it's really cool. And of course, the thing that everyone really cares about, the vehicles, they're on the paid tier, which doesn't really surprise me at all, and so's the title, but I don't know why you want a title. Anyway, this is the TIG-10A, and this is the only vehicle that we can really test drive and play around with. It's basically an IS-3 with a short-stop stabilizer, and smoke grenades, of course, which I think are the ones on the back, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty decent by the looks of it. 7.7, so you probably will face King Tigers, but it doesn't really have a lot of firepower, and the reload is pretty long. I can't exactly remember, but you'll wind it back and freeze the frame where it comes to the stat card, and you'll be able to find that one out. So, your challenges are going to give you extra Battle Pass points. You can get them from several different ways. Basically, what you can do, log in for the day, you can complete these tasks, and these tasks aren't hard to complete. They don't expire until the end of the season, which in this case is in, I think, late February or mid-February. So you have plenty of time to do this. You really, if you don't play particularly regularly, if you don't play 8 hours a day, you can still get these things, which is really good because as someone who's worked 9 to 5 before and who will soon probably be working 9 to 5, it's going to be not that easy to get in 8 hours a day of War Thunder. Trust me, I've tried. So it is really good to have these sort of things. To note as well, the F2G1 Corsair is going to be on the free tier, so that is something to really look forward to. And of course, you get all these as a coupon, so I'm not sure, but you very, very likely could sell these on the marketplace, which is really, really positive if you're a free-to-play player. These are some really, really nice things that Gaijin have done. Of course, 2,000 Golden Eagles for the Battle Pass. I should have bought the one with progress points, but realistically, 2,500 GE it's nothing. It's like a hamburger from Macca's, put it that way. And Macca's isn't even that great. So, go figure. Honestly, it's not that much. And if you're going to play the game regularly, I think this isn't a bad investment. However, I will recommend a few changes when we sort of get back to gameplay, if you will. The Battle Pass, as you can see, plenty of good stuff. Plenty of stuff for free tier as well. I wasn't quite expecting this many things. I wasn't expecting this many tiers, honestly. What is it, 151 tiers? It's kind of nuts. There's a lot of content there. Most of it is Warbonds, and it is fairly straightforward to unlock a tier. And of course, you don't have to unlock all of them in a month. You can take your time, and some of these challenges, if you get 5 kills a day, even 10 even like 7 kills a day, or 10 kills a day, that's half an hour of gameplay. Maybe 40 minutes, maybe an hour, if you're playing AirRB or AirSim. But if you're in AB, 10 kills, you can make that up in 2 matches if you really pushed yourself. You could make it in 1 match if you really pushed yourself. And so it's not particularly hard. Now, the one concern that a lot of people, rightly so, had about the Battle Pass, namely the Scottish Koala, fantastic idea, fantastic points that he put forth. I really appreciate him making this video, and I think this is kind of what has brought about the changes. He suggested that the Battle Pass was going to make War Thunder toxic, and this was going to happen basically through the special tasks, because there were tasks like capping zones, things like taking first place on the team, things like victories, not so toxic, but can sort of encourage people to gravitate towards those, I guess, more unbalanced vehicles, or at least spam out the ones that are a lot more comfortable, things like the Jumbo, things like the R3 T20, things like the, I don't know, you go figure, something easy, like a Ju-288 for bombing bases. It would encourage a lot more toxic or a lot more over-competitive behavior, which sort of diminishes the feel of War Thunder and diminishes the community aspect and turns it into a grind fest that everyone's just sort of trying to accomplish, encouraging things like spawn camping, which is extremely detrimental for the game, especially if it's done maliciously, you know. So this particular issue was actually fixed by Gaijin changing the tasks to basically your Warbond tasks. And you know what? For me, that is the best change that has happened to War Thunder all year. War Thunder basically went from being a potentially very toxic game to being something back to what it regularly is, but with extra content that sometimes you can pay for some. Well, you can pay for some of it, but some of it you can just get for free. And I think that speaks volumes about Gaijin's potential. I believe Gaijin genuinely listens, and the fact that they listened here demonstrates that they can listen in other places as well, and that they are hearing us. Sometimes it may fall on not quite deaf ears, but not understanding ears, and I think that's where we as a War Thunder community fall into a pit trap. We go, oh well, Gaijin didn't listen to us, so my explanation is perfect, and therefore Gaijin aren't actually listening. That's wrong. I 100% believe that Gaijin have always kept an ear out upon what the community feels and what the community thinks. However, either through higher-ups or perhaps a lack of understanding or a lack of it being explained in the proper way, Gaijin have turned away and looked at us like we're fucking idiots. And in some cases, yeah, they kind of have a point. But in others, I think we need to reevaluate the way that we approach issues in the game with construction and less anger, if you will, less sort of force and less hatred, because Gaijin doesn't respond well to that. Imagine if someone came up to you and called you a fucking moron and walked away. You've never seen them in your life. That's what's happening here, and I think this sort of issue where there is a community pushback and Gaijin actually changes it is really important for the War Thunder community to understand that, as well as Gaijin understanding that, hey, we have the ability to change the game for the better as a community. So, what are the catches? Well, there really is no catch. There's nothing particularly malicious about this at all. A lot of people do have a couple of concerns, though, that I would like to now clear up, just because a couple of people have gotten a couple of ideas and they've caught on. Kind of like an odd conspiracy, but unfortunately that sort of happens anyway, and we have Gaijin's official word to sort of clear them up. Now, in the case of not being able to buy the individual tasks instead of having to complete them sequentially, well, you get the opportunity there to buy them after 29 days. So that prevents whaling, and if you don't know what whaling is, it's basically shilling all 7,000 or however many Golden Eagles it is to get to the T10A. Taking that out on day one, no, you have to have a commitment to the game, and if you are going to do that, you have to wait a little bit before you buy it. So it's no one-time spend for whales. It's something that is actually really positive, in my opinion. So Gaijin have basically turned that from a kind of, where are they taking it, to a positive, which is what I really like to see. Gaijin does cater to whales, and this is a game for whales because there are so many collectibles. And one thing that games with collectibles attract is people with a lot of money who want to spend a lot of money. And War Thunder taking the active step to avoid that, in my opinion, demonstrates a real willingness to sort of cater to the player, cater to the average player, cater to the free-to-play player. And for me, that's really special because I don't see that from Gaijin very often, and to know that it's there at least is really, really nice. The second issue that a lot of people were saying was that the Battle Pass is going to replace the winter events. And this is false. I have a screenshot there from Mike Goes Boom himself in the Content Creator Discord saying that it does not go over the winter event. In fact, it will probably go alongside the winter event because they don't want to replace a free event with a paid event. And for me, that only gains my respect from Gaijin. I really appreciate that. And the fact that they, make that clear and transparent is really good as well, because transparency and communication are not really Gaijin's strong suits, and they've pretty much nailed it here. They've seen an issue via the community, they've gone and corrected it, and they've given us all the details that we need to know. So I really appreciate that. And we've also got the wiki as well to clear up any little details or anything that you might have issues with coming to terms with, or with understanding rather. So the Battle Pass, what other changes would I make is probably the final point that I want to make here. What changes would I make to the Battle Pass? Well, I think 151 levels is fine. I don't really know why there are so many. I guess they could just compress them into 100, but it's like very small. And I think that 10 battle points for a few levels at the beginning is really, really good. There are plenty of good rewards for the free-to-play tiers. There are plenty of good rewards for the paid tiers. But one thing I would really like to see is more skins. And not just any skin for any particular vehicle, but sort of player-made skins. So the skins that you find in the loot boxes, I would like to see them add a few more of those sort of skins that don't make it into the loot boxes, into the Battle Pass instead. Have maybe 5 of them, 2 of them as free tier, and 3 of them as paid tier, and then you split the revenue either way, or something like that. Because Gaijin does have a revenue share program with skinners, and I think that that's a really positive thing and a way to blend the community further into the Battle Pass. Maybe they could all be 5. I don't really know. We can discuss that in the comments. It's pretty minor shit, so I won't get too tied up on it. The second thing that I would like Gaijin to add might be a little bit of a long stretch, but I would like them to add a non-sellable coupon for premium time. I've discussed this before in the grind problem and how to fix it. I think it was the grind problem and how to fix it. It'll be there in the comments. Oh, sorry, in the description of the video. I'll link it there so you can go and have a look for yourself. But for me, the important thing for free-to-play players is to give them a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a reward for playing the game, because after all, we have 9 tech trees. 9 nations, and each of them will eventually have 4 tech trees each. So that's 36 tech trees and not enough vehicles to grind them. You'll need a premium, you'll need some golden eagles, something like that, to give yourself a little boost. And I think for those higher tiers of the free-to-play tier, Gaijin should offer things like 100 golden eagles. Maybe a coupon for 3 days of premium time that doesn't expire. So if it comes patch day and you want to unlock your new vehicles, you can do that. Or if you're getting to the higher tiers where it's starting to get harder to research things and you've just bought a talisman, then you can use that to get to your, I don't know, your STB1, your Leopard 1A1, your Abrams, anything. Your Javelin, if you really want. So having that opportunity, I would prefer them for, say, 3 days as a coupon, and then towards the end you get 7-day coupons, and these things don't expire. You can't sell them, so that you can't make any money off the store, but you can save them for when you want. And this would be where the beauty of the Battle Pass can be used to its fullest extent. I think having that opportunity to give some free-to-play players a little bit of premium time for their hard work, 151 tiers isn't going to be super straightforward. It's going to be something that you can do, but it's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort and sort of a constant application of that effort over the 3 months or so that the Battle Pass is active. For me, giving those players that opportunity would absolutely make them happier. And those quality of life things are the things that are going to keep people. The little things that Gaijin does in this game can frustrate a lot of people out of the game. And having that little bit of reward, or that little bit of free stuff, that little handout, that little pat on the back, if you will, can really boost the players' morale and their will to stay in the game. And that's not only good for them, but it's also good for us as long-term players. As players that, for example, with me, I constantly have premium time. I don't need to worry about that sort of shit. But for a player that doesn't, that's going to keep him on my team or on the enemy team, or, a tier above me or a tier below me. And that is exactly what you want as a player. You want more players, more matchmaker, more decompression, better communication, more Gaijin staff to deal with the influx. I think that could only be a positive, and that is one thing that I would really, really love to see about the Battle Pass. But apart from that, honestly, it is a lot better than I thought it would. I thought this was going to be an absolute shit show, and I genuinely thought that we were going to see the end of War Thunder as we know it. So the fact that Gaijin have done this sort of turnaround and made almost everything 100% positive, I'm blown away, to be frankly honest. I genuinely didn't realize that Gaijin had it in them. So congratulations to Gaijin. Anyway, ladies and gents, I'm going to end the video here. If you'd like to support me, Air Models link in the description below. I've also got my merch if you would like to check that out. I've got all the links down in the description below. Discord, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. You guys can go and follow them. And until then, take care, and I'll catch you next time.